Hey, it's Ocean, and today I'll be renovating 131021 Chic Street. That is one long address, but let's get into it. I really feel like it's been forever since I've been able to sit down and build. Technically, this isn't really a build. I'm not really building anything, but I am knocking down walls, creating new ones, and decorating. So we're doing a little renovation. And I always feel like if you're new to building, or if you're not really a builder like me and you don't know how to do foundations and roofs and all that, then renovating apartments is a great way to dip your feet back in. And it's been a while, like I said, since I've done anything like this besides decorating for my Let's Plays and everything. So it felt really good to be able to sit down and do this. So I just want to start by saying, when I first started thinking that I wanted to do some type of speed furnish or whatever, I watched a 𝘰𝘱𝘨𝘴 video where she said she was basically renovating this awkward apartment. And I must say, this apartment is so small and it's such a good way, but the windows are placed in such a awkward way that I get what she meant by this apartment is so awkward. And I think it sucks because the apartments are all high rise. They all look so fancy. And sometimes you just want to make like a really homey apartment. And I find myself struggling to kind of furnish these apartments. Someone that I really love watching as far as apartment inspiration is 𝘰𝘱𝘨𝘴. I feel like she knows how to do layouts, different layouts for apartments. She knows how to squeeze in extra bedrooms and make them look really realistic. So I kind of tried to go with a layout that I felt like was a lot different than what I've done before. So this apartment actually has 2 bedrooms, and legit bedrooms, because in the original layout it's so much smaller. There's a thin strip of a bedroom and I think it makes 0 sense. But I use a lot of horse ranch items. This is actually CC free, so as long as you have all the packs and unfortunately maybe some kits, I think, then you can use this. And again, like, I'm sorry, I wanted to use all the items in the game, and I'm trying not to use so much custom content because I know it's not accessible for everyone, and I don't even know what I'm doing with all this custom content anyway. But I started to form a story in my head. Typical me, I can't help but form some type of background for what I'm doing. So in my eyes, there is a young lady or guy, I mean, it doesn't matter, and they have lost their parents, both parents, who were retired in the police force. And so they have this natural need to be of service to their community. And since we're in San 𝘰𝘱𝘨𝘴, I thought it would be nice to go ahead and make someone that was in the politician career, because I've actually only played that career on my time one time when I had a little legacy on my Tumblr a long time ago called The Smart Family. And it was really fun. Like, it was really fun elevating in that career. And it was something that I just never do again because it's like, I don't know, boring kind of. It's like, it was fun to like progress in that career, but it's also like, who wants to be a politician? You know, like in real life, like I would never be interested in doing that. But after making this apartment, I was like, oh my God, that would be kind of fun to play in, because if you think politician, you may assume boring. You may assume that the politician lives in some uber fancy apartment or maybe some super nice colonial home. I don't know, but I wanted like to create this charity organizer, someone that's starting off from the bottom and really cares about the community, but has a really nice clean apartment. And so I didn't furnish it a lot. I actually love furnishing minimally because I don't like having a lot of clutter items or furniture in my Sims homes. And I also wanted it to be easily like decorative, or like easy to decorate. If you were to use this for something else, you can knock out anything you want and just furnish it however. And back to the story. So this 𝘰𝘱𝘨𝘴 is a future politician, and I wanted their style to really reflect an apartment. So they are into that old/new. So I placed, an older futon But it's crazy because the futon actually doesn't really look that old, and I wish we had more, because I actually grew up with a futon in my living room. Like, we had the like expensive or more expensive couch in the front, and then in the den we had a futon, and it was broken and beat up, but we never changed it. And so I kind of have a soft spot for them, and I use these Jungle Adventure counters and everything for the kitchen to complement the Jungle Adventure floors. I believe those floors came with Jungle Adventure, I'm pretty sure, but I never used them, and I love the hardwood. It's so hardy to me, and I really wanted to add just an element of comfort. Like, I just did all white walls, and I really wanted the home to still feel cozy, and these floors were perfect. It was so hard to choose a rug for the living room because I do understand that the space is very, very small. It's very small in the living room, but at the end, everything I feel just flows together, and I really love it. I ended up choosing a rug that came with Dream Home Decorator that I feel like went really nice with it, kind of added that little cultural kind of like pattern flair to it with the fringe at the end. I love it. And we even have a dining table here, and I use the round dining table from the Sims 4 Horse Ranch expansion. I didn't realize how many good items this expansion had because I didn't really build with that expansion. I just played with it, and I loved it. And so I didn't want to be cliche, and use the chairs that came with the table because I don't really like it. But I did use the ones that came with, I think, high school years, and it really looked good together. I felt like, again, it was like that mixture of like old and rustic, and it's a style that I really love. Like, again, if you do own a lot of Sims 4 packs or DLCs, you'll notice that a lot of items really look good together, and they look really fleshed out. Certain items from packs aren't too niche. Like, I used a lot of horse ranch stuff, and we are not doing anything horse related. But my sim, or the sim that will be living here, again, has a really particular style, and I love it. So in my mind, they obviously have to read a lot of books or love reading, so I even implemented the little bookshelf from the Book Nook kit, which has some really good items as well. And I just thought to myself, like, wow, like, I don't really need as much CC as I thought I did. I think I more so use CC as a filler for clutter items, for realism, and because I'm so big on realism, sometimes I feel like I need the custom content to kind of sprinkle a little extra flair on it. But oh my gosh, it just started raining super hard here. It was crazy. It's kind of relaxing though, because I'm actually near a window, so I can hear the rain. So if you can hear the rain, that's a vibe. So for the extra bedroom, which I turned into a mini office, because in my eyes, my sim has only lived here probably about 4 months and is still settling in and, getting used to the apartment life. I put like a paint bucket in a box, showing that, it's still, needs some work. And then the desk that I chose for that room is also really like, just basic, and I just really love the way that it came together. I feel like this sim would definitely purchase things from the flea market and add those little decorations, that whatever they find from the flea market, into their home. But yeah, so moving into their bedroom, I again decided to, in my mind, have both of their parents pass away, because I found with the Get to Work pack there were like 2 portraits of 2 Sims in like police uniforms, and I'm like, man, like, who are these Sims? I don't even know who they are, because I don't really play that career actually. But I do feel like, out of all the paintings, ouch, did you hear that? I like hit my leg on my desk. Out of all the paintings that they have on their house, because I did not fill up the walls, I realized that I'm not a wall art person, and I fill up walls because I have to, because I know that probably looks better. But in reality, like, I don't like a lot of things on my walls at home. So that's what I kind of like reflected here in this speed build as well. I tried to find curtains, and in my mind I knew what curtains I wanted, but they were CC, and so I couldn't use them. I really wanted more of like a high, like, draped down curtain, specifically the ones that are created by PR Sim, but with no custom content using this build, I really couldn't achieve that look. So I just said, all right, well, forget the curtains. We're not having curtains. We're just going to let all the natural light in. But I'm cool with that. I feel like this sim would wake up, have a cup of coffee or whatever the case may be, and, just enjoy that natural light. And I was going to cover it up with blinds, but then I thought, I really love the natural light pouring in. And typically, if you're living in a high-rise apartment like this, you're going to want all that natural light. And I mean, you probably don't fear that people are peeking in. It's not like they can climb up your window because you live so high up in the sky. I ended up making the main bedroom bigger. I realized I could do that and it still looked good because of where the window was. I was able to do that. So I found that really nice. Like, I've never found a way to make a bedroom look really good in this apartment, which is crazy. I feel like if you don't do something in a while, you end up coming back better than ever. Like, I haven't really built or formed anything like this in a while. I've only just did furnishings and it really came together. You'll find that the bedroom is quite boring. It is very boring. I didn't put a lot of things in it. I tried to make the horse ranch bed work and that didn't work. It looked a little too farmhouse, especially with the wood. It just didn't look good. So I ended up going with the growing together bed, which I felt went so perfect with this build because it has that like modern but also kind of like with the weaving I don't know what it's called on the headboard. It looked really, really good. But I did use the horse ranch nightstand. I felt like it was woodsy and looked really good with the floors. And I wanted the bedroom to have I don't know what kind of lighting it's called, but I just didn't want it to look too bright in there. I want it to be kind of dim. So I had these wall lights, which I think I ended up getting rid of. And I just adjusted the lighting through the game instead because they look like eyesores because I don't like a lot of things on the wall. So here I am going into the game and just adjusting the lighting, giving it like a soft white yellow kind of light and dimming it down a little bit. I don't like when it's too bright in my Sims builds. Like if it's way too bright, I feel like it's not realistic because I would hate to walk in a room and it feel like a laboratory. So we definitely have some more dimmer lighting, and I did add light switches and stuff to this build just to make it look a little more realistic. So that was cool that we have base game light switches that we can use and add that piece of realism. And I added a little mirror, but literally like the Sims room is completely bare bone. But the apartment really came together, and I didn't really add too much clutter to the kitchen because I just felt like, you can always add that in. You can always add a coffee maker. You can always add whatever, but I just didn't want to clutter that up. And in my mind, I feel like not everyone leaves those type of things on the counter. Like you may have one or two things, but some things are in cabinets and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm not going to stress it. I'm not going to add anything extra. I did add the trash bin and the entryway so that it didn't clutter up the space near the kitchen. Hey, you take the trash out on the way out the door. I felt like that looked really cohesive and nice. But here I am, lastly, making the little a makeshift office, which I use the high school year's desk. I feel like, maybe someone threw this out or she found this near an old school and decided to use it, refurbish it up and we'll fix it later and it kind of gives a vintage look or something. I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, I'll have pictures at the end and it'll be on the gallery at Ocean Sims. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Just keep simming. Always, always, always stay wavy. And I'll see you in the next video. All right. Peace out.
And I love you so much that I longer don't know why even. So violent, mama, every thought I have I'm done. But it's like I know, might just meet some guy and cry a little. Help me, I need a good advice. Please don't say no, be my hero. You can tell